What's up, Thumpers? Welcome back to another episode of Hyper Heroes here on Hyper RPG. It's officially November 1st. Halloween is behind us. I'm very depressed about that because it is the most wonderful time of the year.
You mean the countdown to Veterans Day?
Yeah, there you go.
Definitely.
That's one of two things to look forward to till the end of the year. Maybe Aquaman if you're stoked about another DC movie.
You know what? I'm okay with Aquaman.
I actually, every time I see a TV spot, I'm like, oh, I'm into this.
Yeah,
She sure does look like Ariel, doesn't she?
I will.
Mara?
Yeah.
I think they're kind of going for that a little bit.
I know,
yeah.
I know.
That Ariel was my first crush, so I'm just like, okay, I see it. So
you can
I'm
tell
okay
she's
with
an
it.
80s princess, too, because she's got red hair and a pink dress, and that was only acceptable in the 80s.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
right. That's right.
Absolutely. With the puff shoulder.
The puff shoulders? Hell yeah, dude, those are armor shoulders.
Yeah.
We're joined here by a very special guest. Hector's not here. He told us yesterday, because, Hector's so helpful when it comes to doing stuff. But we have the co-creator of Jupiter Jet. You know her from the internet. Ashley Robinson is here. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm approximately the same height as Hector, so it's going to work out fine.
You're taller, actually. Don't tell Hector. Where is Hector? I don't know where Hector
He's
went.
in Georgia.
He's in Georgia.
He's speaking at some
Why?
panel.
I mean, good for him.
SpongeBob
but-
panel.
He's moderating a SpongeBob panel
Yeah.
with the producers and the cast of SpongeBob. So he's
Oh.
doing big things out there.
There you go. There you go.
He's probably asleep right now. Either that or he'll probably pop into the chat in a
Probably,
little bit.
yeah. Poor Hector, man. There's some times where he's like, guys, I'm going to be out on Thursday. I'm like, bro, it's tomorrow. He's like, last minute, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's all good.
He's a busy
happens.
man. He's
It
a
happens.
busy man.
It's very common in
Yeah.
our industry for things like that to happen.
Yeah,
To find out
definitely.
like 4 hours before, hey, I can't be there because I just got booked to do something really cool.
Yeah,
Like,
it's good for him. It's
all
exciting.
right, all
I'm,
right.
I'm only happy for that guy
I
because
know.
that dude's
Hector's
doing amazing
a
things.
silly boy.
Yeah.
Hector's a silly boy. But you're here to talk to us about Jupiter Jet and something that Jason's been doing annually now for how long? Like
4 years. This is the fourth year.
So talk to us first about Jupiter Jet, this comic book that you guys created.
Yes, so Jupiter Jet is our first creator-owned ongoing miniseries. It's with Action Lab. There's a really cool graphic popping up right now. Please take a look at it. That's what our trade paperback looks like. We crowdfunded it last year, and then it came out in December through May. The trade paperback is out. It is kind of What If Kim Possible met the Rocketeer. It stars a 16-year-old girl with a jetpack who is powered by a mysterious power source. She robs from the rich, gives to the poor, and fights bad guys with glowing eyes who might be aliens.
Awesome.
Those are three things that I love: Robin Hood, Rocketeer, and Kim Possible.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm all about that. That sounds really
and
fun.
that piece of art, that's one of our variant covers that was drawn for us by Nicholas Scott, who you may know from Wonder Woman or Black Magic over at Image, who's also my favorite artist in the whole wide world, and
That's
it was
so
so
cool.
nice.
That's
that
so
she,
cool.
helped us out with that. And right now, if people are familiar with Jupiter Jet or they're interested in it, Goodreads has their annual awards on this year, and they finally have a graphic novel category.
That's awesome. That's
Because
awesome.
Okay.
comics are books.
Nice.
And
Yes.
the cool thing about Goodreads is it's kind of like, if people aren't familiar with it, it's like, what if Facebook but books, though? Which I think is great for
Yeah.
everyone on this panel and probably most of the people watching. So it is open to the populist vote. You can go there. You can type in Jupiter Jet Volume 1. Please use the number 1 or it will not show up.
Oh no.
And you can vote for it. And we're really hoping that it gets into the top 10 because when you get nominated for things like that, creating indie comics becomes a lot easier.
Right.
Because as I'm sure you guys know, when you're an indie comics creator, you have to put the money up front for
Yep.
that. That can be
Yep.
quite an undertaking.
yeah.
And something like this really helps us get Volume 2 done as soon as possible.
Nice.
So I'm really hoping we've had amazing support from the community here throughout creating Jupiter Jet and creating our new comic science. So I'm hoping that people will consider checking it out. You can get it on Amazon really cheap, and then maybe considering hopping over to Goodreads and voting for it there.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I think it's super cool, and I think like we have so many creative ideas. Everyone in this industry has so many creative ideas, and we always try to pitch things to like studios or companies to try to make it for us.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just gotta do it on your own. If you
No,
want to get
yeah,
it done, do
I
it
agree.
yourself.
You do,
especially
and-
nowadays. You can.
And you'll be amazed how many people will want to help you with
Totally.
that. Whether it's like someone like Nicola who helped us with our cover, or people who will help you in development, or something
Yeah.
like this, like promotion. Like it's really cool to see the community come together around
Absolutely.
creative ideas, which is
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of what this whole place was
Yeah.
created on.
Yeah.
definitely.
So.
What's been the? Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say thank you to Jabberwock for dropping the link.
Oh yeah, thank
Oh,
you so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Much help. Click on that. Go and support.
It's also pinned to the top of my Twitter and Jason Inman's Twitter.
Oh, there you
so
go.
if you need to find
right.
it, you can go there and click on the links as well.
So how did this idea come about? Was it something that you guys like thought of together, or was it like you had a piece of an idea, he had a piece of an idea, and you came together? Or how did this whole thing manifest?
Oh my God, it's such a dumb story.
Those are the best.
That means it's gonna be real good.
So Jason and I have been pitching comics for a while. We were in a couple anthologies up to that point, and we were having lunch one day, and I said, I have an idea for a comic, but it's just a name, and it's Jupiter Jet. That's my whole pitch.
That's a sick name.
That's how stuff comes about.
That's a terrible pitch, though. Like,
No.
there's nothing.
I mean, it's not like you're going up to like the head of Warner Bros. Being like, guess what,
Hey,
guys?
Jeff Johns.
Jupiter Jet.
Hey, Jeff Johns, my Facebook friend. That's a true fact. Please buy my comic book. And then he was like, oh, I have this idea, and it's like a girl with a jetpack, and she has a cat and a little brother, and we just sat there and we hashed it all out and made, you make furious notes on your iPhone. And then we came up with the twist. There's a big science fiction twist at the end, because it is set in 1935. It's very much a period piece. And then we kind of blow the world open in issue 5. And all of that came out of our first meeting. We found our series artist is Ben Matsuya, because he drew fan art of Jason from when Jason used to work for Screen Junkies.
Oh, really?
No way.
So I really encourage everyone
That's
here.
so cool.
Yeah, and he lives an hour away. He lives in Orange County.
That's awesome.
People who are creating their own stuff and images and fan art and stuff, do send that along. And then when people say, hey, do you have sequential samples, those are really, really important, because to draw one beautiful image is one thing, but to tell a story and to do a fight, even if it's just, I don't know, if you like The Dark Knight, draw your version of The Dark Knight, because then people like me will hire you and give you money to draw comics.
No, it's totally true. Like I have a friend of mine and I have an idea for a comic book that we would like to do, and sometimes fans send us fan art, and I definitely keep track of that. I'm like, okay, this person's really good at this. Let's see potentially what they could do with doing something like action poses, or doing more than just
every time somebody draws fan art of us, I definitely make sure to friend them. And keep track of what they're doing. Right now, my favorite guy. Do you follow Jobias 3000?
Maybe.
Jobias 3000. So he's this guy who drew this really cool art of us. It's very cartoony.
Which one is it?
It's super dope. It's the one of us three, and it's super cartoony. I'm wearing my white shirt, and I had it up for a while.
Okay.
But it's us three.
I'll probably see and I'll know what it is.
Yeah, you'll know what it is. But right now he's doing the draw something every day, so the 365 challenge.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
And he's at day 330 something. He's almost done for the year.
Wow.
So I'm pushing for this guy.
That's cool. That's
He's
cool.
almost there, and I've never seen anybody do it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is cool. He's actually done something monumentous.
Yeah. Well, even what was it? The Streamies that just happened? Box Office Artist.
Yep.
Has been doing so much artwork, and I've been following a lot of stuff that he's done, and he was the one who did a lot of the artwork for all the in between graphics and stuff. So yeah, it's really cool, and because we're so connected nowadays, you can definitely find people. It's a lot easier to find people.
Definitely. We're not Kevin
sure.
Eastman furiously photocopying
Exactly.
Teenage Mutant Ninja. Maybe we all be so lucky.
Yeah.
Right.
At the Kinkos. But if you guys watching are interested in doing that, know that we're watching, and try to be in contact with people who are creative, who you are interested in.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
like I said, we'll hire you.
What's been what's been the hardest thing to overcome, whether it's a financial thing or a creative thing? What's been the toughest thing?
The financial burden was really tough, because as a writer in comics, you have kind of an easy job, because you can take your time, you can write your pages. It's shorter to write a script page, just like a screenplay, than it is to write a page of prose.
Yeah.
For your artists, especially for your line artists, you have to pay them a living wage. It's a full-time job if you want it out in a timely manner. It turns out $30,000 is hard to come by, or whatever rate it is that you guys agree on.
But it's a rate.
Contracts are important.
Yes.
Make your friends sign contracts, for goodness sake. Don't let anyone get away without a contract. But that's the great thing about Kickstarter, and the internet makes everything egalitarian. So you do have an opportunity, if you can have an audience, if you can have your friends help you out, that you can make that happen. Other than that, it's just scheduling. We have a team of 7 people. It's me, Jason, Ben, our artist, Mara, our colorist, Taylor, our letterer, and then the 3 people that we deal with at the publisher, and then any number of cover artists. We had Nicholas Scott, we had John Boy Myers, we had Art Balthazar, and it's juggling everyone at the same time. It's really difficult. It's like making a movie, you know. And if all the composite parts aren't working together, which sometimes happens because life happens and commitments happen, and people get offered more money to do other things, just like what happened here today.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's really difficult, but it's also really rewarding when it works, and when you can sit there at the end of the day and you're all signing your book at New York Comic Con, and you're like, this is cool. We're all here together.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
People say writing sucks, because it does, but having written something is awesome.
Of course. It's grass is always greener, right? It's like you have to spend so much time writing and putting something together, and then you're at a con doing a signing, you're like, man, what a struggle, but like, was it worth it?
Yeah, we had
totally.
our first Jupiter Jet cosplayer, and she came to Phoenix Comic Con. Her name is Aspen. I love her. She's 9. And she was Jupiter Jet.
That's even better.
Yeah, she was Jupiter Jet again for Halloween.
That's so cool.
Which was yesterday, unless you're watching this in the future. Hello, future people. Right. And like, that's the kind of thing that, finances aside, any development deals aside, or anything like that's the greatest gift that you can get when you create something. It's like to inspire a child, and that maybe it seems trite. I don't know. Maybe it seems sickly, but like it's really true. It's so meaningful.
Oh, well, yeah. Totally. I mean, it's something that people are appreciating, that you put your time and effort and hard-earned money into. You know.
Yeah.
So it's a labor of love for you, and to see people reciprocate that back to you. That's a beautiful thing.
Totally.
When she walked up to us, I literally cried.
I wouldn't blame you.
In front of
I would
child.
do the same thing. Like if I created something like that and somebody dressed up as that, it's just I mean, it would hit me
even for like doing this show, like we were in Europe for 2 weeks, and we had like Lucas and I ran into one person. He was from London, and we ran into each other in the middle of Prague.
Awesome.
He was like, "I love you guys' show. I love watching." And then another
I'm
guy.
just imagining it in like the shadow of the clock tower.
Yeah, I know. We were actually like right beneath it, and then in Budapest, someone tweeted at us, was like, "Oh, I saw these guys," and I'm like, "This is so crazy that someone 6,000 miles away watches our show and like actually cares enough to like say something."
In London Heathrow too, we met that guy Lee.
Heathrow, yeah.
That's because half the world is at Heathrow at any
That's
given
true.
time.
Very
Just like
true.
That's why flights are always delayed and everything is just a shit show there. Yeah, no, it's crazy. But congratulations. That's awesome. I love when creators in this industry like move forward and actually push towards making something original, because a lot of times I feel like, you know, everyone's struggling, we're all just trying to find work, and it's cool that there are people out there like you and Jason happen. Like making original stuff. Like I love that. That's so awesome.
Absolutely.
All I have to do is keep doing it. And if anyone does go vote in the Goodreads thing, leave a comment on any of my social media, because I'm going to do a giveaway at the end of the week for some lucky human.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay. Right on.
So now you have to follow me on social media.
You should do it anyway. And so tell us now about the comic drive that Jason's been doing for the last few years now.
So if people don't know, Jason Inman is my writing partner. He's also my husband. He's very tall and good looking and looks like William Riker. He was also he was in the military for 7 years. He was active service. He went over to Iraq. He's a veteran. And while he was over there, he got sent comic books. And being a huge nerd, that was something that he has a really fond memory of. So for the last 4 years, we've done the Jawin comic drive for service members. It's called service members now instead of soldiers, because Marines aren't considered soldiers, they're considered service members, and we want to send them to all branches.
To everybody.
And we partnered with Operation Gratitude, which is a huge charitable organization that operates in the United States. They make care packages in Chatsworth, just down the street. And they ship them off to service members and their families serving at home, and wounded veterans who are in hospitals all over the world. And so every year, we try to raise a few thousand comics. This year, our goal is 15,000. We always blow well past that. To date, we've sent over 112,000 comics to service members, injured service members, and their families. So we were asking people, if you have comics, books, DVDs, Blu-rays, CDs, any media, but specifically comics, because we're nice nerds.
Of course.
If you want to send Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm sure they'd be grateful.
I'm sure
just send a PS4 while you're at it.
No worries. The Middle East is rife with PS4.
Yeah, right.
They just grow on trees over there.
Yeah, right. I'm sure their composite parts do.
Yeah.
So we're asking that people send them to Operation Gratitude, which you can find that all over the internet. If you Google Jawin Comic Drive for service members, we have a landing page that has all this details on it. Count how many you're donating, fill out the donation form, include the Jawin Comic Drive for soldiers in that in the form, like, so that we know that that's what you're counting it for. And then send them off. We're doing it in the month of October. And also, please take a photograph and send it to jawinComicDrive@gmail.com, because that's how we track it and that's how we know what you've donated. And we're also asking that people leave them PG-13 because we are going to be sending them to kids here at home. So, like, don't send Punisher Max. It's really great, but please don't, because we want everyone to be well taken care of and looked after. And we always do a big count, and a lot of great companies turn out for us. A lot of great comic book stores turn out for us. So that's something that if you have extra comics, we would really love to have them. If you're not sure about how to ship them, if you are in the United States, which I'm assuming most people donating are in the United States, go to the post office, get a medium flat rate box that can fit between 50 and 60 single issues, depending on if they're bagged and boarded. It will cost you $13.65.
You've done your homework.
Yes.
I have a shitload of comic books, and I know exactly what to do with them now.
Oh my God!
I know.
You should see. We'll show you the box of comics.
Yeah, I have like 5 boxes, and they need a good home.
They're giant boxes.
You can also, if you're LA local, you can drive them to the drop-off center in Chatsworth.
Oh, there you go.
So you just have to. They'll have forms
I'll give
there.
you a ride, Adam.
So
all 5 of my boxes.
Yeah.
And their Jabberwocky
there you go.
also has
Thank you
the
again
link.
for the link.
There's
Thank
also a
you
link
so
in the
much.
description of the video if you're watching this after the fact.
Yeah.
You can check it out in the description as well. But
Also,
super amazing cause.
someone asked me where my ring was. Wedding rings weren't traditional until the 1920s, and I don't wear one because I don't like rings.
There you go.
So, like, don't
Right
be
on,
so
right
typical, man.
Yeah.
Also, what a question to ask somebody.
I know, right?
It's actually what I get a lot, which I think is very.
Really?
I
Really?
truly like hate wearing rings, so I was like, I don't want a wedding
Well, it's
ring.
funny. Like in our industry, there are quite a few people who are married, and like a lot of times they don't wear rings, and I'm just like, all right, that's personal choice.
Yeah.
It's like no big deal.
It's a very personal thing for people. So.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like bling, guys.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I know, but that's super cool. That's amazing. You guys have raised or collected that many comic books. Like that's insane. And I mean, God. There's so
I'm
much.
sure you have triple those comic
I'm thinking
books in
about
your
all
room.
the stuff that's like in this house. I'm like, Zach, do we need all these comics from 4 years ago? Let's do something good with them.
Yeah, let us know.
But yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. When is the deadline for that?
November 30th. They have to be posted by November 30th.
Okay.
So we do them for the month of November so that by the time the holidays roll around, whether you're celebrating Diwali or Christmas or whatever, they all get out and they all get mailed overseas.
Package.
Yep.
Boom.
That's
There you go.
amazing.
So it's November 1st. Get on it. Get on it. Send them comics and Blu-rays, whatever
End
you got.
of the month. It's real easy to remember.
That's right. Just do it before Thanksgiving because God knows what's going to be happening with
no.
anything during the holidays. It starts to get crazy.
Truly, and you can donate anytime. It just won't count towards a drive.
Yeah.
And I do encourage people to donate to Operation Gratitude all year because they're amazing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right on.
Let's get into our first topic of the night.
Will do.
Let's see if Obi-Wan Kenobi survives this movie because the poor bastard isn't going to get his own Star Wars movie.
Poor guy.
Ewan McGregor's apparently in talks to be joining Birds of Prey as Black Mask in the upcoming DC movie that's being directed by Kathy Yan. It's also going to have Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Margot Robbie will be back as Harley Quinn. This rumor started a few weeks ago, and I think it was between Ewan McGregor and another actor. I'm pretty excited about this, mostly because I feel like Ewan McGregor is one of those actors. He's so incredibly talented, but he kind of sticks to a very particular scale of movie.
Yeah,
he doesn't really go. He doesn't really do big movies anymore.
Right,
I think after Star Wars, he was kind of like, I'm kind of good.
Was I'll say it like an English person, Moulin Rouge before or after Star Wars?
It was in between 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, because he did Moulin Rouge, I think 2000 or 2001, and then 2002 was Attack of the Clones.
Numbers are hard.
They are very hard. I'm doing the movie
too,
release date schmodown soon, and I'm like, I'll better get my dates right.
Godspeed.
I know. It's gonna be real rough.
You just gotta hang out with Mance a lot in the meantime.
I know. Someone called me Mini Mance, and I was like, I don't know if I'm that into release
you're
dates.
pretty good, Adam.
No. It's
You're
crazy.
pretty good, Adam. You're pretty good.
I'm pretty decent.
I was impressed on the last one, so
we'll see.
You'll do all right. Yeah.
But the interesting thing I think about this is Black Mask is a character who's somewhat of a more obscure, lesser-known villain in the DC universe.
Right.
Unless you're a comic book fan or you love the Arkham video games,
right.
He's been prominently featured.
Yeah.
He's been mostly featured, in that sort of sense, but never in a live-action thing.
Right.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on having this character in the Birds of Prey movie, a Batman villain? Do you think maybe they could have done with a villain that isn't necessarily just Batman-centric? Could they have gone maybe with something else? Or because it's a story that revolves around Batman characters, it has to be a Batman villain?
I think... I think they did a really smart thing in putting somebody obscure at this point because we all kind of know the backdrop with the whole DC films, whatever you want to call it nowadays. Doesn't necessarily have the best track. So why don't we put sort of like a lesser known, like lower scale villain so that there's not as much pressure. Imagine if they would have put like one of the bigger villains.
Two-Face.
We kind of know what to expect, and there's a lot of pressure on that character and also on the actor. So it's smart to put somebody who's really obscure, because think about what they did in Jessica Jones, the Purple Man. Nobody ever expected what we got from Jessica Jones from the Purple Man. That was one of the best seasons of Netflix television ever, because that villain was so unexpectedly awesome. Well, not awesome, but like he played so well and like acted so well because you got David Tennant, amazing actor, to portray this character who honestly probably nobody really cared about at the beginning because he was sort of like a C-D list villain. And all of a sudden, you have this amazing performance, and counterbalance with all the amazing actors in the rest of the show. It could be something amazing. So I like that they're taking this route on this guy. And then Ewan McGregor, I feel like he's one of those actors that just us nerds are just like, get back into this. Like, you did Star Wars, and we all loved it. He was the best parts of the prequels.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get him back into like some geeky shit, you know? Like, let's have him do that, and then I think it'll be fine. I'll be looking forward to this once we see a little bit more of the production.
Sure.
Like, I'm really interested to see what the costumes are going to look like, really. Some set designs, maybe what the overall tone is going to be.
Yeah.
Because that's still fuzzy. Like, I don't know what to expect from that.
Yeah.
We don't know a lot of details except we know a bunch of casting.
Yes.
And we haven't even seen costume tests yet, which will really help set the tone for that.
All right.
Someone in the chat, Ronan Unchained, mentioned that he appeared in the Under the Red Hood animated movie. That's my favorite DC animated movie.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe his biggest appearance outside of something like the Scott Snyder run, which I think really popularized him. I'll be interested to see whether or not it is a digital effect or whether they actually put him in a mask.
Oh,
good
God.
point.
I
Good
hope
point.
it's a mask.
I really hope it's a
I
practical mask.
Kind of do too, and I know, but I know it didn't go over well with Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. Like, he really didn't like that process,
Sure.
which is fair, and maybe he's less patient than Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right. Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is going to hinge. He's going to hinge on the look.
Well, for
Yeah.
sure.
If he looks
absolutely.
good, and if it's a good piece, or if it's a piece with some digital enhancement, then
Yeah.
it could be really great.
Yeah.
If it looks less great, it's going to be tough to swallow. But Black Mask is a gangster, so that's pretty street level. And considering we know that Rosie Perez is playing Montoya, she's going to be their Gordon character, I think we're really trying to hammer home that, like, this is a street level villain. We're not fighting the Riddler. We're not fighting Two-Face, who are gangsters as well, but they're a little more larger than life, ironically,
Those
than
are, like,
the guy with the
elite
black
level.
head.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They're like elite level villains, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
Crime mob bosses, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
I would love it if it heralded a Jason Todd appearance.
That'd be cool.
Dude.
Well, I think that's the
They're
thing.
not doing anything else with him.
Yeah,
he's in Titans.
Well, that's true. Well, that's the thing too with like doing this movie is the thing that kind of excites me about it, other than exploring some characters we never explored before. I like the fact that even though I'm the type of person who like, I don't like the fact that DC, in terms of their movies and TV stuff, they really rely on Batman to like bring in people.
I agree. There's more than just Batman.
Yeah,
Dare we
there's such
say?
an oversaturation.
No, don't say that.
Yeah, don't say it. The people will come after
might
you.
upset people.
I know. Yeah, there's such an oversaturation of like Batman in the media, and the thing that's exciting to me is, yes, this is characters from the Batman universe, but it's like, please don't put Batman in this.
Yeah.
Like, if there is a mention of Batman, I'm okay with that. But like, let these characters, let you know, especially Renee Montoya, probably one of my favorite characters from the Batman animated series. And I'm like, oh, the fact that we got her in a movie finally, and then
Make
it's
her
Rosie
the question.
Perez.
Make her
It's
the question.
so dope. And I didn't even know that Rosie Perez was cast. We came back from Europe, and I was like, how did I not know? That's like the best casting ever.
You weren't just attached to Variety the whole time.
No,
you were
thank
over
God.
there.
Yeah, I know.
We were so disconnected. It was
It was
best.
amazing. It was amazing.
To not have to deal with Twitter for
I
2 weeks.
I relied on these guys for internet access because I was just like, I don't want to deal
Yeah.
with any of this stuff right now. So,
Yeah. But I am excited. Yeah, I think this is great casting. But
you brought up a good point, and I forgot. I wish I had notes because I was gonna say something.
It'll come back if it's important.
It'll come back eventually. Yeah.
I will say this is one of the DC movies I'm most excited for.
same.
Right on,
Sam
yeah.
Cohen, thank you so much for the $100 tip.
No, it's the
It's
pesos.
Mexican
It's
peso,
Mexican
yes.
pesos.
Could this affect any potential contract for a Star Wars spin-off? Well, I mean, as far as we know, and like this is not signed, this is not official. This is just they're in discussions. Potentially.
In talks,
Yeah,
and somebody mentioned earlier, they were like, in talks means booked.
No.
It so doesn't.
No.
In talks is generic speak.
I know it seems like that.
Contract
It means
work.
they took a meeting, and it
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
that some PR person leaked it because they want to
exactly.
create
Right.
buzz around it from either
Exactly.
camp. And I know we would all love to see this happen, but if he doesn't have a contract for Star Wars, which again, as far as we know, he doesn't,
Right.
I don't think it matters.
No, I don't think it matters.
It
No.
doesn't matter at all. And didn't we just get news that Star Wars was going to slow down, quote unquote?
Do
that
we
just,
believe
like,
that?
I believe that.
God,
I personally believe that.
hope so.
I hope
do
it's true as well.
I
Personally,
hope
I think
so.
it's a very good move. But that's another topic for
That
another
is.
night.
Yeah,
That's gonna be an interesting topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of Ewan McGregor, I love Ewan McGregor. I want to see him do more stuff in general. The fact that he's gonna do a DC movie potentially could be really, really cool.
There's a place for him in superheroes for sure.
Oh,
Totally.
I
I
agree.
100% agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. That'll be exciting. Let's talk about the next topic, which is like, this is gonna take 3 seconds to talk about because there's nothing to talk about, but everyone gets really excited about everything. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier are possibly going to be doing a team-up series on Disney's digital streaming service. Maybe next year. We have no clue. All they did was they announced that they're going to have a writer, Malcolm Spellman, who's a writer and producer on Empire. He's going to pen potentially we don't know if he's going to just write the entire series or just a pilot or some sort of a pitch or whatever it's going to be.
He's at least writing the pilot.
He's writing something, and it's going to put Bucky and Sam
Wilson,
the Falcon together.
Yes. Bucky and the Falcon.
Shout out to whoever picked that piece of art, that picture. That's so great. I love
really
you.
good
Oh,
one,
it's so good. Yeah.
Thank you, Lucas. I'm sure.
The thing that excites me about that is I think these two characters were great supporting characters, both in Winter Soldier and in Civil War, especially this scene.
That scene
was
right
so great with these two characters. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, this could potentially be a good opportunity to do something. If they were to get like Shane Black to come in and do like a Lethal Weapon-ish type of series, I'm like, I might
Did you see
be
the
into
new
this.
Predator movie?
Yeah, I did. But I also heard a lot about what Fox did with the Predator movie.
Yeah,
That's fair. And Nice Guys is really good.
Yeah, and I love Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Nice Guys was great.
Nice Guys. That movie is so great.
So I'm like, if we get that Shane Black or someone like that, then I'm like, I could be into it. And I think like these two characters, they play so well off of each other.
Yeah.
Especially watching interviews when these guys do the press junkets together.
Yeah.
They are very fun.
You
and
could tell they're
very,
buddies.
Yeah, they're very entertaining. So I think there's potential for them to do something fun. And honestly, like even if they were to bring in Tom Holland to like cameo as Spider-Man, because seeing those
You can't do that.
two,
He'll ruin it. He'll spoil
I
it at the
know.
junket.
I know.
He will,
That's
he
true.
will.
That's true.
You got to put Benedict Cumberbatch beside him and
That's
just
right.
slap him upside the head
just
every
to come
time.
in, just like and just push him through.
Get out of here.
Exactly.
Get out of here, kid.
But
Get the wizard. Get the
But to have
wizard.
like that dynamic between like those two characters, I think would be really, really fun. I think the biggest question for me is like, I'm a little concerned that maybe Marvel is trying to do, and none of these are confirmed. We've just heard that these are the things that they're potentially developing. They may go with none of these, but I'm a little concerned that it might go into Netflix territory where we're just now. The market is so saturated with these like character shows, and I'm like, oh, do I need this? Is always the big question.
I just don't know if I believe that it's going to be these two actors. I don't know if I believe it's going to be Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie. If they hold the line and the television and the cinematic universe are different, it can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be.
So they're either recasting these two parts, which, okay, fine, or we're going to go to like a Spider-Gwen universe where Sam is Captain America and it's an African-American woman. Or, you know, we're going to go way elseworlds with it. Like the Scarlet Witch show is supposed to be the romance between Vision and Wanda. So do we get the twins in that? Do we get a backdoor pilot to Young Avengers out of that?
I don't know.
I don't know. And I know Feige is set to be an EP on this, but that doesn't mean anything. And it's like you said, it's sort of a non-story because there's nothing known about it except, guys, maybe.
Yeah.
The future potentially holds
we
this.
wanted a headline, and we're all theoretically excited about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, the thing is, these digital series that are going to be on the Disney app are going to be produced by Marvel Studios instead of Marvel Entertainment. So that's the only sort of argument that you can make of like, well, of course they're going to use these actors. And I know that they talked about. I think Variety originally ran the article. They said the Loki series would be with Tom Hiddleston. The Scarlet Witch series would be.
I don't believe
with,
that for a second. I think it's going to be Agent Loki. Agent Asgard.
Yeah.
Young teen sexy Loki, as played by, I'm sure, one of the kids from Young Direction.
That's right.
With that Disney streaming service, I don't see how that could not be a possibility.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to see where they could take these characters, and if these shows take place after Infinity War, after Avengers 4, like that's going to be very interesting because then it's like, okay, then what does that mean for Avengers 4?
It's just the screen with all the dust floating around.
30 minutes of...
That's going to be the trailer and be like, psych, guys. You thought so.
God, that'd be the worst.
That would be so funny.
I think the conversation they wanted us to have with this coming out, because they put things out for people to have conversations.
Absolutely.
These two characters in other iterations both had their hand in Captain America's juice or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they both had something to do with Captain America. They want us to talk about the fact that potentially one of these characters could take over.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
If
considering Chris
we-
Evans' contract is up, I think
Exactly.
that's a good
Right.
chance.
And then with
Yeah.
the theories that, you know,
Mhm.
like something's going to happen. He's either going to pass it on or he's going to pass away.
Mm-hmm.
In the next movie,
Mhm.
they want us to have this conversation of like, cool, one of these guys could be the next
Yeah.
Cap.
Yeah.
Or they could both like double team it and then one of them like decides, hey, I want to take up the mantle. So
Yeah.
I think that's what they wanted us to talk about, but they gave us really nothing to go off of to even consider
Well, and I think
that.
like
Yeah.
there's potential if this takes place before the events of Avengers Infinity War, there's like a 2-year gap between Civil War and Avengers Infinity War that like
Right,
you could
right,
tell
right.
stories about Sam, but with Bucky it's hard because he's in Wakanda.
Yeah,
So
he's
it
sleeping.
like so it kind of like limits like
is.
where do you
Yeah.
place this? You can't place
Right.
it after the Winter Soldier.
It's got to be after.
it's
It's
gotta
got to
be
be after
after.
the snap.
or
yeah.
or out of continuity entirely.
Sure,
or,
yeah.
or a whole Elseworld kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
if it's going to be set after Avengers 4, then yeah, it's definitely going to be about one character inheriting the mantle of Captain America.
Yeah, that's what the conversation I think they wanted us to.
yeah.
talk
And my
about,
hope,
really.
if Steve Rogers dies, I'm not going to be upset about it because I think like if that's how we're going to pay respects to like the
Mhm.
finale of this
Also, the
character's
death
life.
of Captain America by Ed Brubaker is a great Captain America story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I
actually.
think if that's how you want the character to go out in your cinematic universe, totally cool.
Mhm.
If Captain America, Steve Rogers becomes the next Nick Fury, also okay with that.
Yep. That would
If
be
he takes
cool.
more of a backseat role and he only shows up maybe once in a while, and it's Bucky and Sam and whoever the new Avengers are, if it's
Right,
Captain
right,
Marvel and all that stuff, that could be a really, really cool thing. But yeah, I want to see which one. I'm very curious which one of these characters, if they're going to go in like traditional comic book order,
Right,
or if they're
right,
going to
or
go,
do their
nah,
own
let's
thing.
give
Yeah.
it to Sam. Let's just
Yeah.
like let
Also,
Sam take
just
it
to
over.
throw a little bit more gasoline on the chat, there's
Just burn it.
there's no confirmation that this is live action
Yeah, very true.
in any of the press
Uh-huh.
releases.
I don't remember if they mentioned live action or not.
I
I think we all assumed.
I think we
Yeah,
all assume
yeah.
too. And I think that would be the logical choice. It would be what I
Yeah.
would most like to see.
Right.
But just because, we don't know that much about it.
There's no news.
yeah.
What if it's an animated series, and that would be a
Yeah.
way that you could extend with these actors outside of the time and space restrictions of the movie? Like we could tell a story when they first meet.
Very
That's
true.
true.
We could
Very
go all
true.
the way back to and tell more of
Yeah.
that encounter
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very true.
You're just lathering the gas on.
I know.
I love it.
Seriously.
I'm all about it. No, but it's true. I mean, like
Please follow me on Twitter for more nonsense.
at least this one that I'm looking at right now, like they don't mention any. They just say the series are expected to be 6 to 8 episodes in length.
Yeah.
Everyone assumes live action because because they want these actors. It's like
Right.
Here's one.
Right.
How long does it say the episodes are going to be?
yeah, right. So like
It's going to be a Jim Henson workshop.
Yep, that's
mean,
what it's gonna be.
I'm
I
down,
would
I'm
watch
down.
the ever-loving heck out of that.
Yeah,
I'm down,
I would
I'm down.
love that.
But like I honestly, if they were like, we're gonna do these and they're gonna be animated, I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with like
not?
an 8 episode miniseries of
Yeah.
of
Some
animated short
dope
stuff.
stylized
That'd be so
animation.
dope.
They get like Gandhi to come in.
Dude, Gandhi can just do anything. He can
Truly.
do anything, really.
He did that Luke Cage comic. Why not?
Yes. Oh, I know,
Man.
I know. Well,
So
we're still buzzing off of the Star Wars, Clone Wars stuff that he's doing. So
Yeah.
or that he did.
From 15 years
Yeah,
ago,
from
we're still
15
like,
years
bro,
ago. That was the best Star Wars thing ever.
I know. But I think at the end of the day, like I'm curious. I will remain curious. I'll be excited until it comes out to see kind of what they do. The Netflix Marvel stuff has kind of been hit and miss with me. There's some shows that I'm like excited to see, some shows that I'm like, I'm all right. I don't really need to see it the first day. So I'm hoping, I'm curious to see what my feelings are going to be towards this. If I'm going to be super excited or if I'm
Right.
just going to be like,
Can you have me back on the show in like 3 years when this,
when this comes
actually
out.
happened?
Yeah. So you can be like, well, it ended up being animated.
They're 3-minute episodes.
It's an animation puppet
Gandhi
hybrid.
came to do it.
Yeah, it's directed by Gandhi. It's an animation puppet hybrid show.
That's right.
Like, yeah.
Everyone in the chat's gonna be like, fuck, she was right. Shit.
You heard it here first.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, so we'll see. Like, again, it's just another one of these things where it's like no confirmations until Marvel Studios is like, hey, we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
This is very interesting, though. This next topic, we're going to be talking about Deadpool 2. They filmed some new stuff
This is interesting.
from
What?
for a
Yeah.
brand new PG-13 cut that is coming out December 21st. Because they want to compete with Aquaman. I don't know.
Because of children?
No idea. I think because it's chill. Well, we can get into the details, but
Yeah.
get us with the actual facts of
This
what
is
these are
really
first.
weird. So
Yeah.
they decided to put out a PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2. That's going to be coming out at the end of the year. There was a longer, I think it was an unrated extended cut that came out. I have not seen it. I know they showed some stuff from it at Comic-Con. It's been on Blu-ray. Still haven't picked up Deadpool 2 on Blu-ray. I got a lot of other Blu-rays I want to get before
Yep.
I just got Batman the Animated Series. And
Yes, you did.
It is
God,
tight.
I want that so
And I
bad.
got Teen Titans Go to the Movies. It looks pretty good too.
Well, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I hadn't seen it yet.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
funny.
I'm about 35 minutes into it, and I'm like, this is great. I love this.
Yeah, it's the best.
So this is a quote from Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who were talking about sort of like why did they created this. They said, we definitely shot new stuff, and recently too. After Deadpool 2 came out and we were all sitting around, we came to it less about the idea of let's make a PG-13 movie and more, let's talk a little bit about Deadpool. We were kicking around some ideas, and then I think it was Ryan Reynolds who had the great framing device. We all got excited and went to the studio. They said, yeah, let's do it. Fire up the cameras. No studio ever says it that easily.
No.
About 2 months ago, we were out on sound stages shooting again. Ryan was in the suit, and the gang was back together. David Leitch and Ryan and us having a great time and laughing. It came together great, so we're super excited about it. In terms of changing the story, they said, no, we're not really changing the story. The aim was to the aim of the new scenes was to have fun with the existing story, but not to modify it. I was a fan of Deadpool 2. I think I liked the first one more, and I think maybe partially because the second one there were moments that kind of felt like they were just sort of replicating the first one, but it doesn't have the Hangover and Hangover 2 thing where it's like
not
we
at
took a
all.
real big dive. No, it's not
at
that.
all.
Like some things I think they did a lot better in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Some things were maybe not as strong.
Yeah.
But I'm so curious why the PG-13 rating. Part of it they talked about was like, well, we would like to expand it to more audiences. But I thought the whole point of Deadpool was like, we want this to just be for adults. Let's adults enjoy it.
I think that
and
was
Fox
the
is
goal.
Like,
I think that was the goal
money.
at first. I think that was
And
the
then
goal
it
at first.
became
Yeah.
a financial success.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, and we sit here and we talk about casting choices and we talk about writers and directors and all that, and we want to believe that everyone goes into these things to tell the best story possible, and they're all fans and they all want to do right by the character, but that's not the case.
Right.
It's not the case no matter what every press release says.
Yeah.
It's ultimately about money, and some people in the chat have made a couple interesting points. PG-13 definitely opens it up to a younger market. Not that people don't take children to Deadpool.
Right. There are
And
kids
not
who
that
watch
people
it
don't know
anyway.
how to sneak into an R-rated movie.
Right.
Which I'm not advocating for taking children to Deadpool, but the idea of opening up an Asian market
Yes,
Right,
is
that's right.
huge.
Because it
Their
was-
that market there is bigger than here.
Yeah, it was China, right? That they
I
couldn't.
believe
that
so.
They couldn't,
Yeah, it was
the
censored in
first
China.
and the second
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yep.
So, like from that perspective, it makes total sense because from a business side of things, it allows them to make a bunch more money on this movie.
But do you have any interest in seeing a PG-13 cut of it?
I'm curious only because like we do this,
Yeah.
and I want to be like informed and see like what it's all about. So I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. I'll go see it. I don't know if it's something that I will go to the theaters and see.
I
though.
won't go to. I didn't even see Deadpool 2 in the theaters. I saw it on an airplane.
I do
so-
think it's smart for them to re-release it
Oh,
in
I think so,
theaters,
too.
though,
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
people will go.
Especially
and
during the holidays.
They're probably hoping to bury Aquaman
Yeah.
with it, which they might.
Who
knows?
I'd be
Who
surprised, but
Who
like
knows,
you never
really?
know.
Yeah, you never really know.
No, because Into the Spider-Verse is going to be
That's right,
very
that's
hard.
God, I can't wait for
I'm
that.
so
I can't
excited
wait
for
for
that
that
movie.
So
I have a
tight.
feeling. Okay, two things are fishy about what he says
Yeah.
in this article.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Hollywood people never sit around. They're never just sitting around going like,
You know,
let's revisit that old franchise.
Yeah.
No. I have a feeling that Mickey Mouse came into the office and was
Yes.
like, hey guys,
We own you now.
We own you now, basically. So go ahead and try this out for us, because if this doesn't work, we're not carrying you over. Because
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool's one of these characters that like it's a tentpole like situation for Fox, where this movie came out of nowhere, was a huge financial success. And it was mainly because it is pandering to more adult audiences, you know? And so I have a feeling that whatever entity at Disney was like, listen, guys, we at least need to try this out. Like,
Yeah.
here's a little bit of cash. They're probably not talking about it, but they're like, here's a little bit of cash.
Absolutely.
Let's try this
They're
out.
not spending all that time
Exactly.
making a PG-13 cut for
and,
fun.
And that's why that's why I said, I was
Yeah.
like, look,
Fox
Adam,
isn't that friendly.
Adam and I have worked in Hollywood. There
Yeah.
was no point where we just sat around just like, yeah, we're in Hollywood, we're doing stuff, you know, like, but we have nothing else to do but like to revisit this old movie
Hey
that's
man, let's
already been
revisit
done.
the shots from Winter Soldier and make them look prettier.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody ever does
all
that.
you have to do is put more Bucky in it.
That's
It'll
right.
only get
I mean,
prettier.
just shirtless Bucky. That's all you got to
That's right.
do.
That's if Captain America 4. You have all my money.
I'll take it.
But
I'll take it.
I'm just saying that this to me smells more of let's try to get some rebranding going. Let's get the audience used to a Deadpool who doesn't necessarily need to be flashing his dong all the time or like, you know, like
You like the baby dong?
that was funny. I thought personally I like Deadpool 2 better than Deadpool 1.
But you know what else has baby dong? Man of Steel.
Very true.
Very true.
Very true. But I think that so this is a test for that, and also dang, where was I going with this one? I mean, it's test markets. It's going to be Disney.
Yeah.
It's going to be so many other things that like I feel like most major audiences are kind of like ready to see Deadpool sort of like brought to more people because there's kids. I saw kids dressed as Deadpool. Like,
oh yeah.
there's interest in the market there.
There's kids dressed as Negan.
Yeah.
Which I always
Hello.
find immensely distressing.
Yeah, like,
I saw.
if I'm going to be honest.
There was
What?
this little girl on Reddit who dressed as Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's dope. Like the audience is there. So
I went to John Carpenter concert last night, and there was definitely an 8-year-old child dressed as Michael Myers, and I was like,
Oh,
See?
yeah.
That's really cool,
LA
but,
Comic Con
There you go.
last weekend,
There
a
you
lot
go.
of kids dressed like Michael Myers
Yeah.
and Pennywise. Also, a lot of
Ooh, a
barely
kid
clothed women
Pennywise.
dressed as both of those. So,
parents, what are you doing to your kids?
The new Harley Quinn.
My God.
Fun for children of all ages.
Hey.
Yeah.
Also, thank you to Carlo for the really kind super chat that came in, and we spoke all over it.
Oh, the super chat. What was the
Yeah,
super
thank you so
chat?
much.
It just said it was just nice words about me.
Oh,
Actually, I'm so glad you're on the show. Be here more.
There you go.
They'll have me.
yeah. We need to have more
Definitely.
ladies on the
We
show.
do.
Actually, we're a real bro fest here,
Yeah.
so we need a lot of ladies.
It's
on
a
the
sausage
show.
fest. You
It's-
can
it's
just
a
call
real-
it that.
Yeah,
It's
a real
bad.
sausage
It's
fest.
real bad.
It's bad to where we're
We need
like,
some class in this
we're like,
joint.
guys, we need to put like
Yeah.
some ladies on the show
we do,
for
we
real.
do.
So thank you for
You're
dropping
welcome.
by,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Just show up in a dress and you're happy.
That's right.
Oh yeah, all right, sure thing.
Do a show where you all come in dresses.
I know.
And
Yeah.
it'll do very
That
well.
was actually really
Yeah.
fun. Just for the hell of it, why not? But yeah, that was like, it's funny because you bring that up because that was part of my notes was like, yes, it's not finalized. The Disney deal is not finalized, but like, of course, there are things already happening. Like,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
it's been approved, so things are happening.
Yeah.
And we've already we've heard from multiple news outlets that like certain divisions are going to be ending at Fox. They're going
Right,
to
right,
transition
right.
to Disney, all that sort of stuff.
Every
So,
time mergers like that happen, people are
Yeah.
afraid of their jobs.
of course, and it's like it's a process. It's such a lengthy process. So of course, Kevin Feige's at Marvel Studios in Burbank going, well, we're going to do the X-Men, kids.
Listen, I'm
He's
sure.
probably the one person who doesn't have to worry about his job.
Exactly. Look,
What, they make like $4 billion just this year?
I forgot
Jeez.
what I was watching, but it was somebody confirming the fact that Kevin Feige has had contingency plans for all these characters since the very beginning.
Oh, dude.
I bet you this is stuff that he's already tired of talking about, but he's finally like, okay, cool, it's finally happening.
Yeah.
Like, let's go with Plan F that I have here for the
Yeah.
X-Men because they joined at this
Oh,
point.
I was thought you were gonna make a Fantastic Four reference. I was like, please make the fourth film in Phase 4 Fantastic
Ooh,
Four.
That'd be
that
dope.
would be amazing.
Look, we've talked about the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom
ad nauseum.
Yeah.
ad nauseum
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like woven into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and
Absolutely.
it's like, if you don't do this, you are dumb.
My favorite idea that we came up with,
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler handles Black Panther 2 and introduces Doctor Doom.
Great.
That would be amazing.
All you gotta
That
do
would be
is you have a
absolutely
little
amazing.
rip in the fabric of space and time, and they're like, "Wow, we've been gone for so long."
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
with they're cosmic. They're
Yeah.
like they can play with multi-dimension.
Yeah.
They have
we put Janet away in a pocket dimension
That's
for
right.
exactly
That's right.
50 years.
for 50 years, and she just came back.
Yeah.
So it's very possible. We're playing with other dimensions now with Doctor Strange. We're in the cosmos with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
This is not out of the realm of like them coming out of another dimension.
Yeah.
So
Ryan Unicomb, what's up, buddy?
Oh,
Asking a
Ryan.
good question. Does Fox still own The Simpsons? Will they become a Disney property?
they're a Disney property.
They will
Yeah.
be. Yeah, they
Yeah,
will.
they
Yeah,
will be a
because
Disney
they've
property.
absorbed the television and the movies and the television shows, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know there's
think-
like certain networks that they're not getting.
Yeah,
but
I think they're not getting like the sports networks. They're
Right,
not getting
because
the
of
news.
ESPN.
Yeah, they're not getting the
Yeah.
news networks. I think Disney already owns ESPN though.
Disney does, but I'm talking
Yeah.
about they're not going to get like Fox Sports.
Oh, right.
West and
No,
all
they're
that
not
sort of
getting
stuff.
like the Fox Sports
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, the Fox is focusing more on their news and their sports
Mhm.
stuff in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Disney's going to absorb everything else.
I don't know exactly like
I
something
think
like
that's
The
why
Simpsons.
I have a theory that that's why Gotham ended.
Look,
because of all this
We
new
can
stuff
talk
coming
about
out.
Gotham.
because of WB. That's a WB property.
yeah, no,
That's-
I'm not.
yeah.
I don't have any particular feelings about it one way or another, but
For
I
sure,
have a
for sure.
theory that that's
Yeah.
why it ended.
Well, yeah, and there's got to be some truth to that. I mean, like,
Absolutely.
if Fox is being absorbed by Disney, and it's like you have properties from other comic book companies, like,
Right.
how does that work?
But now
Right.
Disney's also absorbing. This is something that I don't think enough people are talking about, and I'm sorry to derail this a little bit more.
No,
but
no, it's all
they're
good.
absorbing things like Predator.
Yes,
They're
Yeah,
absorbing
yeah.
these
Avatar,
big franchises that
Alien.
even if the most recent incarnations aren't the best, like they're
Mhm.
powerful, they're good IPs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the Disney Predator?
Well, that's the thing that we talked. That's the thing that we talked about originally when the merger was announced. We were like, how do you make a Predator movie at Disney?
You just put the ears on him.
Right.
Right?
Mickey
I know.
Mouse ears. He's got Mickey Mouse for the and big white gloves.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
And you just hear it from the trees.
Just pops through the.
Oh God,
the
that'd be
trees.
so bad. But yeah, like we've talked, when it's like
Yeah.
they are going to have to, because there's been discussions that they're going to keep Fox as like an entity, and it'll be renamed. I forget what the name was. It's going to have some
Right.
sort of a new name.
It's going to be sort of like their
New Fox or
franchise.
something like that.
yeah.
New
New Fox.
New
Literally
Fox,
some
like
lame ass name
Crystal
like that.
Fox,
Crystal
like
Fox.
Crystal Coke.
That's right.
But
like
they also
the crappy off-brand.
they also absorb things like FX.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
so like
exactly.
Disney owns Justified
Yeah.
and
That's-
The
I
don't
American.
know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and so that's the thing is like, yeah, I think there was this. I think that they're gonna have some sort of a new division that'll be like very much just like
Yeah.
Fox Media,
Right,
and then anything that gets taken over by Disney, which I would imagine is just the Marvel type of stuff, the
That's
very
just
like
the
kid-friendly
that,
stuff.
That's just the stuff that we're most excited about. There's
Yeah.
a lot that's going on,
There's
and it's
so
fun. And it's
much,
fun to
yeah.
talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's totally fun to talk about. Like
Oh, absolutely.
Titanic will now be a Disney movie.
Oh, Disney's Titanic.
man.
Lucasfilm will technically get back Star Wars, the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
all
That's
full
very
distribution rights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Wow. Now, if they can just eat Universal, then they'll have all their because
Jeez,
Universal
my
still
God.
owns that piece of the Hulk, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it
Which is why
eventually
there's no
going to
Hulk
roll
movie.
over
I-
though?
I
if they
think-
don't produce any more movies,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
don't think.
And I
don't
think
they
it's a
can.
similar deal that Sony
Ultra
has with
Fox.
Spider-Man. Ultra Fox, Jesus. I think it's a similar deal to what they have with Spider-Man, where like Universal Studios can make individual Hulk movies, whereas Marvel Studios can't. But Marvel Studios can use him in a team-up movie,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
similar to what Sony has. Same thing with Namor the Submariner, I think.
Right. Yeah,
And
they have
Feige's
him
been
over-
Can we
talking
just
about,
get
like-
Daniel Day Kim in that role already? I mean,
know. That's.
for real.
I think that's what literally Hector said last week.
Yeah,
or the
that's
week
exactly
before.
what Hector
It's
said
the
last week.
ears.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
the ears.
I know. Yeah, it's
Pulp Fiction
yeah.
is technically Disney. You guys are killing it in the chat.
Oh,
with
Miramax,
all these
yeah,
references.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and like there's just a lot of stuff in the old catalog that I'm like, what is Disney gonna like? Are you gonna create a Fox vault now, you bastards?
I think they are. I think
Sons
they
of
are. They're
bitches.
gonna lock it up and then release like a diamond edition of like
Pulp
here's
Fiction.
a re-release of Pulp Fiction
Ah.
You know,
before it goes back into
Tarantino's just like, oh my god, no, no. Oh my
Here's
God,
what I'm
you
really
guys-
hoping for: that all the Tarantino movies get the Disney musical treatment.
That would be
Jesus.
awesome.
Oh
That would be
my
pretty.
God.
I would actually be interested in watching that. Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be great. It'll
That'll
be
be-
great. You're welcome for that thought.
Yeah. We'll see though. It's very like there's two sides of it, right? There's like the part of us who are big fans of like franchises and blockbusters who are like, oh my god, Disney can make all these movies now.
Yeah.
And then there's the other part is like, how many people are about to lose their job?
Also,
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
Monopoly?
Yeah, right. I mean,
if this isn't a monopoly, I don't know what
Yeah.
that is.
to me, that's the scariest thing. Is like the
Yeah.
fact that Disney and like, look, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could go after a company like Universal.
Sure.
I think
Yeah,
Universal
and
has
force them into a
like
merger.
a couple franchises, particularly Fast and Furious, that's really working for them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like, not all of them do.
But
Paramount
Paramount
has like
is-
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Transformers, Star Trek,
Mhm.
which they only have the movie distribution rights. Warner Brothers should eat Paramount.
Truth.
And then maybe on like an equaler playing field.
Truth.
It'd be like Star
See,
Wars
but
versus Star Trek,
I don't-
Marvel versus
I don't
DC.
even know if that would equal the playing field
know.
though. Because I don't
I mean,
think
it
Disney
would-
just
it
makes so
wouldn't-
much disgusting
yeah,
amounts of money.
It would in
Exactly.
terms of franchises, right? Like in
I
terms
guess, yeah,
of if
yeah.
you were going to
How
line
many-
up your
how
chess
many they
pieces.
have, yeah.
But I
Right,
think
right.
Marvel still. I mean, the Star Wars really tipped the scale. Marvel has bigger pieces at this point.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's super
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not like from the very beginning.
Disney Red.
Disney Red.
They should do though. I think they should bring back that Marvel Knights brand that they were trying to
They
start.
were trying to do that.
To do
for a
with
while.
like Punisher Warzone and like
Yeah.
bring in some of those darker characters and give them their own like film.
Right.
Spider-Man's got a really great series in the comics line.
Oh yeah.
Marvel
It's just you always have to think about how is this going to translate to the Disney brand,
Yeah.
because they are so protective of that brand
Of that
they-
mouse.
They just
How does
they just
Bart
can't.
Simpson and the Simpsons translate to the Disney brand? Like
Eating shorts. They're gonna have just like a eating shorts
But,
stand
I
in
mean,
Disneyland.
all love and respect to one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. Does The Simpsons have as much bite as it used to?
No, not at
Probably
all.
not.
You know
Of
what
course
I
not.
mean?
at this point, probably not.
There was some scientists who pulled some data about when The Simpsons went bad. He actually went into every episode,
No way.
collected the rating data
What
on
a
every
fucking
single
nerd.
episode,
Wow.
and broke
we thought
it.
Hector was a nerd.
I know. No, this guy was a scientist. He broke it down by writers. So he said
Oh,
he
wow.
wrote he broke it down by like the amount of writers and how good the rating of the show was. And so the writers each had like their own like star rating, and he said roughly around like season 10 is when the science says that the Simpsons jumped the
But in
shark.
season 12, you get Scorpio, guys. Hank Scorpio.
The 1062 says, also don't forget Disney owns
Yeah.
Touchstone Pictures, which was set up to make R-rated films from the beginning.
Truth.
That's right. I
Truth.
forgot about
Yeah,
Touchstone.
and
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think this could be an opportunity for Disney to bring back, or maybe not bring back, but to
Bring back the R-rated series.
yeah, or like, because like Touchstone Pictures is like, no one talks about Touchstone Pictures anymore. It's like
Right,
stuff that
right.
if you mention that company's name, you think like, oh, the 90s.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you don't really
I
have
think
like a
of-
recent
I
fond
think of
memory
movies as I
Touchstone.
saw as a kid
Exactly.
with that logo.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so funny in the way that like Orion is evocative of the 80s, but like when is the
Exactly.
last time you thought about Orion Pictures?
When I watched
Whenever I
RoboCop 1.
yeah, exactly. When I think of RoboCop shooting people in the dick.
Exactly. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah, and I think this kind of goes back to the Deadpool conversation. Is
Yeah.
like, where are they going to put this
That was
character?
a great
For
segue.
sure.
Are we?
Beautiful.
I mean, it's
Pizza
like I've
chef.
done this before. Are we going to put Deadpool? Are we going to put Deadpool in the Marvel universe as a character who's ultra frustrated because he keeps getting bleeped out by
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse? Like, is that going to be a thing that's going to happen with Deadpool, or are we going to put him in the
Will they
Touchstone Pictures
will they
side?
Roger Rabbit that movie and put
Ex-
Mickey Mouse in there?
Right,
He
exactly.
just sticks his hand in front of his mouth.
Good
Right,
Good
like you
Lord.
just see a white glove, like
Yeah.
he just Deadpool will just have white gloves on, and he'll be just like, no, like
Aw,
he just doesn't want to wear
You
them.
know that sequence in the Fraction Aja Hawkeye run where he jumps and he's naked and there's the smiley little Hawkeye in front of his man
Yeah.
parts?
Oh,
It's
boy.
going to be like that, but it's going to be the Mickey
It's
hat.
gonna be Mickey Mouse, yeah. But that's the thing, though. Will they let Deadpool play with something like that? Like,
No
will,
way. No
exactly.
way.
So does that mean he's gonna be forced into the Touchstone Pictures or
Right.
whatever they
Uh-huh.
call this new?
Sweet Jesus. Part of me kind of hopes that one of these
It's
new
so
PG-13
crazy.
scenes has Mickey Mouse. Like a glove. It's
I
like,
mean,
don't can't say that.
I mean, that would be pretty
Oh,
amazing.
God,
but that
brutal.
doesn't bode well for Deadpool either way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways,
Speaking of Disney, Boba Fett is not getting a movie. No longer. James Mangold is not doing a Boba Fett movie. I'm kind of crushed by this. Mostly because of James Mangold, because I love Logan, I love 310 to Yuma, I love Walk the Line. Like, I think he's a great director.
yeah.
I'm kind of okay with not getting a Boba Fett movie, mostly because I feel like we don't need to explore every single background character of the Star Wars universe, and I feel like
Right,
Boba
right,
Fett
right.
was done. He did what he needed to do in the original trilogy. George Lucas decided to expand him in the prequels and make him, sort of the child of the clone army, which was like, okay.
Right.
And now they're doing the Jon
Right.
Favreau Mandalorian series,
Yeah.
which I'm like, cool. Let's focus on Mandalorians in a new way. Let's
Not just.
not just Boba Fett, because as dope as Boba Fett is, there's a lot of Mandalorian like armor that looks rad.
Like
Right,
my
right,
shirt,
right.
which is Sabine Wren.
That's right, exactly.
Is that like a beast on your shoulder? on the
That's
side?
her. That's the wolf insignia that she has on her armor in season 1 of
Yeah.
Star Wars
Okay,
Rebels.
okay.
So,
I'm
like-
really hoping and they talk about Clan
Well,
Red.
so that's the thing is like we've now explored because of the expanded universe, which is now Legends, and like now the new expanded universe is like we don't need to worry about like Boba Fett, IG-88, Bosk. Like we don't need to do as cool as I thought it would be to see a Star Wars Western movie with those bounty hunters and like
Right,
their
right,
story. I'm okay with this show being about a potential Mandalorian bounty hunter of some kind.
That is not Boba
That's
Fett.
not Boba Fett,
Yeah.
and then exploring like new Star Wars characters. If you're
Agreed,
gonna already commit
agreed.
to it, like let's do something new.
Right.
Well,
This
and Star Wars is already starting to feel like Space Kardashians, so I think any
Wait.
excuse.
Space Kardashians, please explain that to me.
So Star Wars, you can't escape the Skywalker family.
Yeah.
They're
Okay,
like
okay.
holier than that. And look, Luke
Right.
Skywalker is my favorite Star Wars character.
Same.
I will fight you.
He's the greatest hero in the Star Wars universe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Child
Boo,
murder
meter
aside.
nose. Yeah.
But so it's become this thing because of the prequels and because the way the current movie is set up, and whether they walk back race parentage could confirm that even more. But in the way that the Kardashians have built this empire just around their little enclave, the Star Wars universe is entirely built around them. And while they're deeply interesting and they're deeply impactful, and I think Leia Organa is like one of the greatest characters ever created, there's more to that universe that's interesting and worth exploring, and that's why Clone Wars and that's why Rebels have hit the way that they have. And I agree with Adam. I think this move, even if it's just a sidestep and we're just doing a little adjacent move here, I think it's the right direction.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Particularly in lieu of we are rolling back on Star Wars
Slowing
stories.
down
Yeah.
or whatever they chose
Yeah,
to
yeah.
call it. Yeah, I completely 100% agree with both of you. I feel like
Good.
we need to move on. No,
Thank
but
God.
I mean,
This
but
is the
yeah,
internet.
like I know. No, I won't say anything to like light up the chat or anything.
Just
but
pour some more gas on it.
I know. No, but I genuinely agree with you guys just because I feel and like we've talked about this, like we've talked about Doctor Doom ad nauseum. It's like there are cooler things out there. There's an entire galaxy, an entire universe that we have not explored. And there's a term when Adam and I were working in VFX. It's called pixel fucking. It's like where you focus on something, you don't focus on the rest
I
of
have
the
pixel
universe.
fucking PTSD to this day.
Absolutely. It's just like they focus on one. They like hyper focus on one thing. I don't think we can pixel fuck Boba Fett. We can't pixel fuck like Luke Skywalker
Yeah.
anymore. Let's leave Leia alone.
Yeah.
Let's leave Han Solo alone. Let's just leave him alone. Let's move on. There's so many cooler things out there, and Boba Fett specifically, just because he was never supposed to be a star character. He was always supposed to be like that mysterious badass who maybe passed away when he got eaten by that worm thing.
But
And if
Sarlacc,
you guys
yeah.
have never seen the picture of the actor who originally played Boba Fett with the mask off,
Jeremy Bullock.
yeah, like bless him.
Yeah.
Bless you. Like that's all you need to know
It's
about
not
this
Tamara
character.
Morrison, I'll tell you that much.
Well, then see,
He did
there
wonderful
you go.
work, and we're thankful for him.
Yeah.
But you don't
yeah.
need a movie about
You
that.
don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like because the Star Wars universe is so vast and so big, I for the last few years, because they've been doing so many movies
So
and
many
s-
movies.
talking about Star
Yeah.
Wars so much,
Yeah.
like I loved the fact that like, you know, I obviously I didn't grow up when the originals came out, but to have the prequels as like as
Yeah.
whatever your opinion is about the prequels,
Sure.
but the fact that like from 99 to 2002, it was like, oh my God, you're waiting 3 years, you're like, Jesus, come on.
You had time to miss them though, and you
Yeah.
forgot that they were
Exactly.
shitty because you just
Exactly.
remembered the
Right.
cool things
Right.
about
And
them.
now
You
it's
were like,
like-
pod racing, more
Yeah.
pod
Yeah,
racing.
yeah.
And it's like we went from like Star Wars Rebels to Episode 8 to Han Solo to Star
Right,
Wars
right,
Resistance.
right.
I'm like, fuck, I can't even keep up with this
There's
anymore.
that
Yeah.
anticipation isn't there anymore.
Yeah, and it's like I kind of have the same opinion towards Marvel. The only difference being is like because of the fact that their movies have become so different over time,
Yeah.
and they explore such different characters and they're in different worlds. I can live with it.
Yeah.
But with
Agreed.
Star Wars,
Agreed.
I'm like, it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
the same fucking characters.
I will say about Marvel,
Get off of
though,
there.
I don't know if I'm ready for one movie a quarter, which is
Mm.
what they keep threatening to do to
Sure,
us.
really?
Yeah, they want one every
Oof.
quarter, and it makes me
Yeah.
feel tired and old.
Yeah, not just that. It's
Can't.
just that I don't have, like Hector says, I don't have the bandwidth to
Yeah.
like pay attention to all that
Well,
stuff.
and that's
you
the whole
know?
reason why I've kind of been like meh about the whole Marvel Netflix thing is like,
Right.
geez, it feels like it hasn't even been a year yet, and we already had Punisher, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Daredevil,
Whoa.
and the Defenders.
Daredevil season 3.
No, I know,
is
but I'm
great.
talking
Is
about volume
legitimately
though.
great.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, let me breathe. Like, give me one a year.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I need this more spread out
Yeah.
because it's
No,
just
I
like
agree,
it's too
I
much.
agree.
I mean, let's
Yeah.
just be honest. We don't need any more Iron Fist.
Yeah.
God.
Well, we're not getting
I-
any apparently.
That-
Thank The
That
Marvel
god-
Netflix gods.
That goddamn show, I hated it. I've never hated anything as much as I hated that show.
And you know what? I don't think Danny Rand's a bad character, and
No,
I
he's
think
not.
I think there's a halfway decent show to be made about it.
Yeah.
There is,
not the one
but
we
not
got.
the one that
Yeah,
they made.
yeah.
You got to give Ryan a shot. He's
I
shouted out
will.
your
Yeah.
podcast
I will,
like
I will,
three
I will.
times already.
The only thing that's
Yeah, self-promote.
the only
Yeah.
other thing that's worth mentioning about this is like in 2000. So this idea for a Boba Fett movie was around for like 5 years now. Josh Trank was supposed to direct.
And then he
what was
made
never announced to
Fantastic
be
Four.
a
Fan Force.
exactly to be announced a Boba Fett movie. In like Star Wars Celebration in 2015, they had a teaser. Then they pulled it because because like
yeah.
2 days later after that Star Wars Celebration, they were like, oh,
Look
Josh
at
Trank
that
is off.
picture.
I know.
Yeah,
Poor
yeah.
baby boy.
Aw.
Poor baby boy.
I don't feel bad for him.
I don't either.
No, nobody does.
But yeah, so like I'm totally fine with like not exploring the backstory of Boba Fett. I don't need to know more about Boba Fett. Give us new characters.
Yep.
That's why like I hope that when Rian Johnson announces his new trilogy, and even the creators of Game of Thrones, I want it to be like 500 years in the past, or like in the future, or in between 32 years between episodes 6 and 7. Like I don't need to see the same shit. Give me
Yeah.
something new.
Everything, and I really like Rebels, but if
Yeah,
you feel like
same.
on television, everything is happening 5 minutes before episode 4,
Yeah.
and it's
For
like,
sure.
cool.
For sure.
Can we do anything else?
Yeah, exactly.
like,
It's like
literally anything else.
yeah, and there's
Yeah.
like, and even with the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, like I've been wanting it for a long time, mostly only because like I love Ewan McGregor and I just loved his Obi-Wan Kenobi. But even part of me now is kind of like, what story can we tell? Because like they've kind of explored
They've
him a little
explored
bit
it.
in Rebels, and they like wrapped up some stories with certain characters, and I'm like, what do you
I mean,
do?
we got a whole 6 seasons of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With basically the CGI version of Ewan McGregor.
Truly.
Yeah.
And he had some badass shit in there where he
Exactly.
fought Darth Maul and Savage
the best,
Oppress,
yeah,
yeah.
Oppress,
the
yeah.
best is Savage. I do that too all
I
the
know,
time.
Ventress, Savage Ventress, and Savage
The
Oppress,
best version of Anakin Skywalker we ever got is in that series.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, my favorite version is the Gendy version
Sure.
of Clone Wars,
Fair,
where
yeah.
where he goes through like the trials on his
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
accord, and that's just to me that's untouchable. But I agree with you as well. Like
Yeah.
that was a really good version of Anakin too. You
Yeah.
know, so I feel like we have everything that we need here, and we could move on. But there's this like obsession with. Let's get these live action movies, which I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Well, we're also smack in the
man.
middle of like reboot culture and nostalgia culture.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
like
That's true.
a while ago, they announced that Animaniacs was coming back, and I was like, I would really rather see that money go to anything else.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
loved Animaniacs. I think it was wildly creative, but like it's still there.
Yeah.
Star
It
Wars
didn't
will
go anywhere.
always
Yeah.
be there.
Right.
It's like Batman the Animated Series. Is
Yeah.
like I wouldn't want them. I wouldn't want those guys to be like, we're gonna continue this show. Like
Yeah, no.
You just
Leave
put
it
a
alone.
s- You
Leave
just
it
put a
alone.
sweet. Oops.
Oh,
You just-
show's over.
You just put a sweet Blu-ray out.
Yeah,
Let that
yeah.
live.
Although
Yeah.
I will
Let it
say,
be.
I think if the DC streaming service does well, if it survives this whole, the
Sure.
first year, which is always the biggest push,
Sure.
I think we'll get more Batman Beyond.
Which
That
like
would be cool.
Batman Beyond.
I'm sure Will Friedel's around. What are you doing?
I'm when it's that sort of a thing where it's an exploration of something different and something new. I'm a little more open to it.
Right,
But like
right,
Batman
right.
the Animated Series, and because Kevin Conroy has continued on to be Batman in
Yes.
like Justice League Unlimited, the video games, and all, I'm like,
Right.
we kind of have everything that we can ask from Kevin
Yeah,
Conroy and
yeah.
Mark Hamill at this point.
Yeah,
But like
truly
Batman
Mark Hamill,
Beyond,
yeah.
I feel like that still has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Also, what's his name? Static Shock has a lot of
Static Shock.
potential as well.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, like-
milestone rights are really difficult.
I know
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I think every year, as long as ever, they've been announcing that we're finally doing new milestone. We're
Yeah.
finally like, we're gonna get Static and we're gonna get Rocket and we're gonna get Icon, and it never happened.
It never
That's-
really
I think,
happens.
I think
yeah.
Warner Brothers talked about like doing a digital series of it, and I'm like, what happened? Where is this? What
Yeah,
are you doing?
no,
What's
I-
going on?
they
What's going-
can't.
come on,
I
come on,
think
come on.
Dwayne McDuffie's estate owns a controlling stake in those characters or
Gotcha.
a part
Really?
of those
Interesting.
Okay.
characters. Yeah, it's something like that, or one of the creators.
Right,
does.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But yeah, I think there's like plenty of other
Disappointing.
characters, whether it's Star Wars, Marvel, DC, that like we can explore more of.
This kind of goes back to your Batman argument from earlier as well.
Yeah, it's all interconnected, guys.
It's so
We know what
it's
we're
a trap.
Yeah, it is a trap.
Let's go through some of these tips that we got during
Yeah.
the show that
Totally.
we missed. Eli the Creative, thank you so much for the $2 tip. Would you want to see J.K. Simmons in Birds of Prey?
Yes.
That is the one character that I'd be
Tenzin.
like, yeah, I'm cool with seeing Commissioner Gordon in the
The
movie.
buff ass commish. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Buff Commission,
Hell yeah.
just lifting weights.
Shirtless,
Montoya
just like
comes in, she's like,
lifting
Commish.
weights,
She's
just
like, I'm
yeah.
busy, girl.
I,
You can handle this.
One million
I
one.
see him at the movie theater all the time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I takes all my self-control, and I shout at him in
Of
public
course.
because he's always there with his grandkids. But
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
Gordon.
You're like, you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Is he still buff? Is
Oh
he
yeah,
Still super
he's
buff?
fit.
Is he
yeah.
still swole AF?
He
I'm
still
just-
looks like he could fling something at your head, and you're Miles Teller, and you might die.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
absolutely. Okay.
that performance in that movie is so terrifying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
whew. I've never seen J.K. Simmons that scary before.
Yeah.
Ryan Unicomb, buddy, thank you so much for the $2.99 tip in your Aussie dollars.
Over and over again.
I'm
though.
not gonna do the Aussie accent because I'm not Hector Navarro,
Oh,
and I
God.
will. Fuck
Can you do an
it.
Australian accent?
No.
Ah,
I can
dang
do.
it.
I can do a Scottish one.
Hit us with the Scottish one then.
Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
This is not you, Ryan, but it's an accent that we.
No,
that we have.
seriously, listen to Adam's new podcast. Thumbs up.
Dang, that's pretty great.
That was good.
We should
That was
just
good.
cast you as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
know.
Fuck it.
I just want to be Merida.
Yes, Ryan, thank you so much. I did start a new podcast. It's called Hey, Have You Seen This? I'm doing with my girlfriend, Emily Rose. I think she's in the chat room. And we're basically introducing each other to movies that the other person hasn't seen.
Oh, that's cute.
So, like, she had never seen John Carpenter's Halloween. We have been on a binge.
Oh, yeah.
She made it through Halloween 2, 4, and 5. We just watched
Oh,
Halloween
bless
6.
her soul.
We watched Halloween 6, the movie ended. She goes, what the fuck?
Are
And
you
I'm
gonna
like,
make her
"I'm
watch
sorry."
H2O?
Season of the Witch.
We actually, oh yeah, so we watch H2O and now we're on Resurrection.
Ugh.
And then we're gonna watch Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Then we're gonna do the Rob Zombie,
kid.
the Rob Zombie duology, I guess we
Oh,
call it.
sweet Jesus.
And then we're done. Yeah.
Okay.
The Hellraiser series is another one that's fun but difficult.
Yeah.
If you want to see
Yeah.
Adam Scott's first on-screen role.
Oh, man. I think
Hellraiser
Henry-
4?
I think Henry Cavill was also in a Hellraiser movie.
Was he really?
I think so.
Is he
Oh my
shirtless?
God.
A more recent one. I don't know. Cameron would know. If he's still here.
I don't think he can hear
But yeah,
us,
so we're doing that podcast. We're recording a new episode tomorrow. It'll be out tomorrow. I've never seen Paranorman, and she's big
That's
on
a good one.
animation.
That's a good one.
So we're gonna watch Paranorman tonight.
When
That's a
are
Leica
you
one,
going
I
to
think.
watch Beauty and the Beast?
He
has-
You've never
he's not seen the
Beauty
animated
and the
version.
Beast?
I've seen I've never seen the animated one.
You've seen the live-action one?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I know.
That's
That's
I
what I
saw-
hear.
I
That's
saw
what I
a
hear.
screening of that, and
That's-
I paid too much.
That's the one where I'm like, Adam, you got. Well, that's the good thing about her though is that
Yeah.
you're not much of an animation guy. She's big in animation.
Yeah, well, it's like I didn't grow up on. I grew up on Disney, but it was more live action Disney.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to animation, I grew up on like Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, like all the kids WB stuff.
Have you
I didn't
seen
watch Disney.
Aladdin?
Did I see Aladdin? I did see Aladdin.
See?
But I saw Aladdin 20 years ago. It's been a long
I mean,
time.
probably. I think it came out in '92.
Yeah, I saw it. I think we watched it in a some class. What was it? A film class, I think we watched
It's
it.
a beautiful movie. The Blu-ray
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Disney movie. That's why I had to ask.
Yeah, like there's
Really problematic voice casting by modern standards.
Definitely.
They are all white.
Yeah, that's right.
Definitely.
but yeah, there's
But,
there's a lot of them that are like I had like Lion King has always kind of been like my favorite because that's the one I've seen the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to do it because it's like I'm introducing her to movies that like she hadn't seen Terminator 2, RoboCop. So I'm like, yeah, I get it because she's born in like the early 90s. So it's like if you don't get around to it when you're young,
Yeah.
you kind of like just miss it.
Yeah. I had
You
that
know?
experience. I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't know. And I feel like I don't know now if I see it, if it'll have the same impact
Yeah.
sure.
that it has on you when your brain is
Exactly.
still mushy.
That's what I was worried about when I showed her Halloween because it's like it's a movie. It didn't invent
Halloween
all of
holds
them.
up, though.
Yeah, like it didn't invent all the tropes that we see, but a
Right,
lot
right.
of them
It
kind of were
did.
birthed
It
out of
did.
that movie.
But also, you remember when we watched it at Street Food Cinema?
Yeah,
We still fell in love with that movie, like no matter
Yeah.
what. We just watching it in that environment.
yeah.
It just watching it with you and the rest of the crew. It was just. It was a testament to how good movies age well.
Yes.
Basically, this
Mhm.
movie
sure.
ages amazingly.
Plus, it's like it's one of those movies that thankfully, like, it's good and it's engaging, but also like technically, it was like very innovative at the time
Absolutely.
for how small of a
Absolutely.
budget it was. It was
Absolutely,
like
yeah.
it's a super indie movie made for
Yeah.
like 300,000
Yeah.
that went on to like make 47 million, which
I mean, it's
in
a classic.
1978 was huge.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for a
That's
movie
a lot
that
of money
small.
now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like fuck, if I made a movie for 300,000 and I made $47 million,
Yeah,
I'd be
we
like,
should all be so lucky,
"Cha-ching!"
truly.
I know.
I'm going on vacation.
Right.
Let's see what else. What else?
Ryan
we got here?
donated a bunch of cash towards
I know.
the
I know.
podcast.
He just kept plugging the podcast.
Yeah.
Sam Cohen. Let's see. Oh, now Disney can say that the Predator is from a Star Wars planet. God, I hope not.
Oh,
That would
sweet
be.
Jesus.
They
That
go
would
to the
be brutal.
Galactic Council, right? Because you know how there were all the ETs? It's just
Yeah.
all the other
Oh,
monsters
that's
that they
right.
inherited.
I forgot
Oh
E.T.
my
was in episode
God.
1.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Wait,
Ubaldi.
E.T. was in episode 1?
Yeah, he makes a
Jesus.
cameo in
Yeah.
the council scene.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them
no.
in one of the pods.
That's right. Ubaldi, thank you so much for the $10 tip. Just got back from Suspiria, speaking of remakes. It was amazing. Rarely have I seen a remake that not only maintains faith to the original, but also embraces and surpasses it. Highly
Interesting.
recommended. Rated 7 out of 5.
Also,
Wow.
how can the
Alright.
original not be streaming anywhere? Because it's not streaming
I
anywhere.
know, it's crazy. I've been
Even on
wanting to.
YouTube, in like 47
Yeah.
parts, it's not there.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it, and it's like I got about Cameron because I know Cameron has it, and,
Yeah.
I really want to watch it before I see the new one.
But I also trust Uber Baldi's opinions
Yeah.
on movies, and he's pretty good at rating them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if he thinks it's pretty good, then it's probably worth a watch.
Yeah, most of the people that I know that have seen it, they said they liked it. They said there's some stuff that's very like different from the original, but it's not in a bad way. It's like the director wanted to do something that's his own and not
Yeah.
just carbon copy.
I
Right,
just
right,
really
right.
hope all the leads are speaking the same language.
we can only hope. But if you saw Call Me by Your Name, it's the same director, and I loved that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's such a good
Oh,
movie.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's a great movie. The Annoying Ranter, thank you so much for the $5 tip. Hey guys, Fox owns National Geographic, so Disney can now do Animal Kingdom presented by Nat Geo.
Oh my
awesome and
God.
scary at the same time.
I think that's awesome. I think that's
Yeah,
legitimately
well,
awesome.
don't they already do that? Didn't Disney put out a pandas documentary not too long
Yes,
ago?
and
recently.
they did March of the Penguins.
They
Yeah.
did March of the Penguins.
And then Jungle Cruise, which is not a documentary,
That's
is
right.
shooting or releasing.
they're doing a
soon?
movie.
The Rock
of
is in it?
it
Jungle
comes
Cruise,
out.
Yeah.
It comes out in the winter of next year.
It makes my brain hurt.
Yeah.
So maybe we can expect the Animal Kingdom at Disney World to be rebranded at
Holy
one point.
Christ.
Dwayne shows up and he shoots the water out of his mouth instead of
Oh
that
my
hippo.
God.
I
Oh
would
my
actually
God.
love that ride. If he was all the animals on the jungle tour, that would
I
be
can't
amazing.
believe that they don't have Russell from Up lead the Jungle Cruise. I think that's a real missed opportunity.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You just
Where he's
hire
trying
a
to-
fluffy
Damn.
guy and you put
he's
the sash
trying to
on
get
him and
his
that's that.
like nature badge.
Yeah.
That would be way cool.
Oh, what an
Yeah.
idea.
Free idea, Disney.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're welcome.
You know what? They should have just treated Jungle Cruise as like the sequel to Up,
Yeah.
and Rock should have just been the adult version.
Oh, yes, he got all
Like,
buff.
he gets all buff
Yeah.
hot.
Oh.
And that weird
It's-
bird is still following him around.
Isn't
Yeah.
that, didn't he do a movie like that though with Kevin Hart already?
did.
Yeah, where he's like a
oh, what
chubby
was that
guy at
movie
first
called?
and then he's not.
Yeah, it came out.
Was
Yeah.
that the one where they're like
year before
FBI
last.
agents?
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
CIA
I think so.
agents?
I
or,
think so.
Yes.
I don't know. America has mildly secret services.
I know. But Ashley, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Yeah.
you for letting me chat all my stuff up top.
Please plug it one more time.
Please go to Goodreads 2018 awards and vote for Jupiter Jet. You scroll all the way to the bottom of the graphic novel section and you type it in Jupiter Jet Volume 1. Use the number 1. And for the month of November, donate to the Jawin Comic Drive for service members. All of your gently used and loved media will go to service members all over the world in hospitals and their families at home. And please email photos and your count to jawinComicDrive@gmail.com. I send the answers. So if you want to talk to me, that's the place to do it.
Right on.
And you can follow me online at Ashley V. Robinson on Twitter and Instagram. Send me pictures of cute animals, please.
Like the one she's petting under the table
Yes.
currently. Kaiju, you little monster.
He loves the pets.
All the links are going to be in the description as well. If you're watching the replay, they should be in the chat room as well, replaying, so you guys can find all the information that you need. Please
Right
donate. Please support. We got to make sure we support gangster entrepreneurship on the internet. Damn it!
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Do
for
it.
sure.
Also, that's why you got to support Adam's podcast.
That's right.
That's right.
For the love of
That's right,
God.
Yeah. Please.
What do you got? to plug?
I got nothing to plug. Just follow me at L_Santo Taco. I'll reiterate, I'm not a band or a restaurant, so, you know.
When are you going to
that's
open
it.
a taco truck? Damn it!
I got my taco shirt on. One day it's gonna happen. I'm gonna take a taco pilgrimage through Mexico
Oh my
and learn how to make the best tacos, and then bring them back to LA and let all my friends have them.
Please.
Please.
You've already tasted my tri-tip.
I
Adam.
know. That's why I'm gripping your shoulder so hard.
Yeah. So when I return from my taco
especially because
pilgrimage.
like today I got excited and I told the guys, I was like, guys, from 2 to 6 p.m. you can get free tacos at Taco Bell.
Oh, that's right.
Help us, please. My God.
yeah. I gotta knock Taco Bell off the best Mexican food rated 2018 or
please.
whatever.
Burn it
Yeah,
to
it was pretty disgraceful.
That's
yeah,
horrible.
On behalf of white people, I'm so sorry
Thank
for
you.
that.
I appreciate that. Nobody has said that to me yet, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's disgraceful. More people need to go to San Diego and have California burritos and just
very
have more
true.
tacos
Very
in LA
true.
because
Yeah.
so good. You can just find me at Adam Havoc. Guys, make sure you subscribe here to Hyper RPG. We got plenty of stuff going on here on YouTube and also on Twitch, twitch.tv/hyperrpg. Plenty of RPGs all week long, Monday through Friday. It's a very busy studio here. And you'll probably see these guys on other stuff on Twitch as well. We're always jumping around, doing a lot of fun stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you guys next Thursday. Maybe Hector will be back. We'll find out. See you guys.
Bye.